What we did today was included doing X-ray on the bodies which are there, so that we can be able to get more information about these bodies. Upon finishing the X-rays, we perform autopsies. We perform examination on the contents of 3 body bags.
We just want to urge that now that we have witnessed the process, it's going to take a bit of time. They're doing their very best.
So I think we have to, as I think has been said, be patient.
Today we are here at City Mortuary, and the purpose of our being here was to perform postmortem, which is the examination of some body parts which were recovered in an area called Kware. So what we did today was included doing X-ray on the bodies which are there, so that we can be able to get more information about these bodies. Upon finishing the X-rays, we perform autopsies. We perform examination on the contents of 3 body bags, 2 of which we completed the examination and 1 will continue later. The ones we did examination on were pieces of upper part of the body. So there's one upper part of the body which contained the head, the chest, and the upper limbs and the trunk, and they were of a female. Upon further examination, we found that this female had injury to the head. There was a bruise on the left side of the scalp with bleeding in the brain. We took samples. Even though there are some persons who came and identified her as their kin. Then after that, we proceeded to the next body bag, which had a lower part of a female body, dressed in a blue panty, which was flowered and torn, and it also had some blood stained. We took some swabs from the part for DNA also, and also for identification. There are no injuries which you saw on the lower part, apart from the truncation of the body at the spine area, which is called lumbar area, which is the lower abdomen, whereby the person cut through the spine. The other body, I think we're going to, because of time, we could not start interrogating it. We are going to do the exercise on Wednesday, because tomorrow we want to dedicate it for performing of X-ray of all those remaining body parts which are in body bags. So that is all. Yes.
All right. So far, have you managed, or rather, can you tell so far the cause of death was that which you have expected?
Yeah, as I said, that upper part of the body, we saw that it had head injury. It's like she was hit by a blunt object on the left side, which caused a lot of bleeding in the brain. The lower part, we suspect that this lower part belonged to the same person, because when you look at the complexion, when you look at the area of the spine which had been cut through, we can reconcile it to be of the same person. But we don't want to be so sure until we confirm it through DNA, which we have taken. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So are we expecting to have this exercise continuing for the rest of the week?
This exercise will continue until we finish all the body bags, because there are several body bags which are brought here. So we want to continue until we finish all of them. So that now we can be able to tell how many people were really involved and what to their cause of death, all of them. Yes. Yeah.
Seeing as how the bodies were mutilated, are there any similarities between these bodies and the Lillian Waini case?
For Lillian Waini, I don't know, unless I go back to my notes and have a look, yeah? So I cannot be able to tell whether there's similarity. But remember, Lillian Waini, the legs were separate. Each was separate, and the trunk was also separate. But this one is like this person was cutting. The one I've seen, because I've seen only one body, it was cut on the lower abdomen through the spine. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I think we were here with throughout the process. We had the human rights representative who were there throughout in the autopsy room. They were looking at each and everything that we are doing. And I think it would be good for them also to talk about what they saw and what they think also. So I'm going to welcome Madam Wangeshi from IMLU to talk, then Irongo will talk also.
So, yeah, we first want to begin by appreciating the cooperation we have had today. We had a multi-sectoral team led by, of course, Dr. Johansen Oduor and different players that led the processes that took place today. We do want to acknowledge that civil society, specifically human rights entities, were represented to witness and observe the proceedings of the day. And I think that's a very good collaboration moving forward. We want to just affirm to the Kenyan public that we are watching, that we are keeping brief, that we are witnessing the process. We just want to urge that now that we have witnessed the process, it's going to take a bit of time. They're doing their very best to, make it a very thorough process. We have our entities have pathologists who are supporting the process as well. And so we just want to ask for a bit of patience as this process is brought to a logical conclusion. We do know that Kenyans want closure and justice. And because of that, we are appealing for two things. One, kindly let us preserve the evidence as much as possible. So our call is do not interfere with the evidence in whichever way. We really would want that process to be fruitful in terms of pursuing justice, but also in terms of giving closure to the families. So I would want Irongo to add if there's anything I've left out. Irongo, yes.
So Irongo Houghton, Amnesty International Executive Director. I think we have to recognize that this is a horrific moment for many Kenyans. We have seen really just some tragedy of a mass crime proportion. So I think just to also echo what Wangeshi has just said is that it is really important that we treat the dump site, the Kware dump site, as a crime scene, and that it is not disturbed in a manner in which we are not able to recover any other bodies that may be there, but also to give enough evidence for the homicide team to be able to identify what may have happened and also what is the pattern that connects these different crimes. As we know, the Director of Criminal Investigations have arrested a suspect. Until this process is complete, we will not know whether all of the bodies that we have seen or that have been delivered to the city mortuary come from this suspect and others. So I think we have to, as I think has been said, be patient, be thorough. We are committed, both the Independent Medical Legal Unit, Haki Africa, Shield for Justice and Amnesty International, to independently continue to monitor what is happening here so that we can clearly say that the truth has been found once the postmortems are complete. I think as Amnesty International we would call on the speed of the investigation that has gone into this particular case to be also expedited in the case of Rex Masai, in the case of the young 12-year-old Kennedy Onyango, in the case of all the people that have been killed in the context of the protests over the last 3 to 4 weeks. We would want to see their cases also be expedited so that we have the people who have killed them essentially prosecuted and brought before a court of law. That also will restore the sense of justice that Kenyans want to see in the course of what has happened in the 40 cases that we have seen over the protests.
And talk of preservation of evidence, we've seen that the teams retrieving the bodies are mainly locals. Is there help from government agencies, and probably how trained are they in terms of handling and preserving the evidence?
I mean, there has been a lot of cooperation from the community. Of course, Kware has been a very tense place for the last 3 to 4 days, and I think the disbanding of the police station has been important in terms of restoring the confidence and the trust of the local community. I think it is also very important to recognize that many young people have come forward to support the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to essentially retrieve the bodies. But there is a way in which it can be done that actually does not help the investigations. So I think we have to treat the dump site as a mass crime scene and therefore not have bodies being retrieved without the presence of the Director of Criminal Investigations, because in many ways there is no way that we will be able to tell if body bags are just simply being brought to the city mortuary that there is evidence that is actually that they are coming from Kware. So my appeal to all the human rights defenders and particularly those that have been working under the auspices of the Mukuru Social Justice Center, who have been so courageous and so valiant. The gentleman that was helping to retrieve the bodies from the water mass, I think it's important to say, please do not bring more bodies without notifying the Director of Criminal Investigations. If there is a sense of concern, reach out to Amnesty International, reach out to IMLU, reach out to Haki Africa, and we can help to accompany that process so that the bodies that are brought, or the body parts that are brought here to the city mortuary, can be subjected to the rigor and the professionalism of the post-mortem that they require. Thank you.